Yes, now bless now. Bada bing, don't forget to rest now. There's ROCKSTEADY, KOTP TV, signing in. We just listened to Shah's record, the second album by them entitled Beware, alright? I'm going to call it 7 tracks on the record. There was 8 to be literal, but the last one wasn't really worthwhile calling a track. 7 tunes, we're averaging at around 5 minutes 30 to 6 minute a track, to be honest. So, healthy amount of material, regardless of the relatively low song count. It was a good record. We've listened to both of the first albums now. We listened to the debut, and then we listened to the second. It was recommended to me by the Lion King Richard on Patreon, and I had never heard of this band before, and it's bizarre. Definitely an underrated band because, well, unless you want to tell me different, definitely an underrated band because I've grown up with metalheads. I've grown up with people involved in alternate music communities. I've been obsessed with metal and punk music. Thrash metal being my first love. And I have not heard one individual ever reference this band. Not within my awareness, at least. This second album was better than the first. Not through pure technicality, but definitely through the sound engineering. A little more character to this production. It's a very bright and airy production, and it's unlike what you tend to get, generally speaking, with metal bands. And I think a lot of it comes down to the tones of the guitar, and I'm not really much of a gearhead or care much about the tone of a guitar, but it was a unique sound, and by being unique without losing its pizzazz as a thrash metal record, I did appreciate that. I thought that was really good. Some good lead guitars, some very tight rhythms, a lot of galloping, a lot of triplets, a lot of fantastic, tight, precise picking in that particular department. The lead guitars were good, as I said. Drumming, relatively basic, definitely a metal drummer, definitely a heavy metal influenced drummer as opposed to a punk rock influenced drummer. So that sort of, teeters it on the bad side of thrash metal in my opinion, because I like more of a crossover element to things. But that's purely based on the drummer, and it wasn't that bad regardless. A lot of double kick. Vocals were good. Vocals were very good. Reminded me of a band called Deal With It we had over here in the UK, who sort of had a European approach to their crossover thrash metal. A little more influenced by the Cro-Mags. I know they're American, the Cro-Mags, but, vocally, there was like a European style to things. With that being said, I don't know what I rated the last record, but I'll give this 0.5 ahead in my ranking and my out of 10 rating. So whatever I rated the last Shah record, give it 0.5 above. That's what I'll give this, because it was a better record, but there was still both good records. Both had their own unique styles. Last record sounded a bit drier, which isn't a bad thing. I don't need a highly polished record to enjoy it. If the musicianship and the craft is good and the ideas are fruitful, it doesn't really make a difference to me. If the riffs are good, the riffs are good. And on that note, I'm going to sign out, people. Peace, one love.